and obviously write down everything going on in your life and what you're doing as we do this. So these, I think, are the very, very important pillars, the 3 pillars to having a good life. And we're back, week 30, and a little bit of a different video compared to the other ones, and just a couple quick things. If you are new here, subscribe. My views have been mad up recently, and I don't normally tell people to subscribe, so quickly make sure you are. I've been getting 40, 60 views. I've noticed my AFL videos tend to do better. Why that is, maybe because people from my club are watching and they don't really care about the other stuff, which is fair. And there are always that minimum 15 of you guys that watch every single one of these, so it makes these worthwhile. And this video, I strongly recommend that you get involved with this one, because I'm going to be going through a process with myself, and I think you should do the same for yourself as I am doing it. So we can do this together, and then we can leave this 10 to 15 minutes with more of a blueprint towards where we want to go. We've got this. Got my whiteboard here. You guys might remember this from my first YouTube video. That is correct. It is the exact same whiteboard. No, I do not leave my PTSD on here. I do change it every day. I do use it. Now, I am quickly going to magically appear all of the things that I do in my life. I don't know how good that transition was, but jiu-jitsu, content, gym, work, university, AFL, basketball. There's a fair bit on this list. The distribution of these things, like I don't really think I want to get rid of any of them. Like the 2 jobs is fine. I could get rid of and obviously write down everything going on in your life and what you're doing as we do this. So and they pay really well. University I could get rid of as well, which would be huge. But dropping out, obviously, I'm past the census date, so I'm already paying. AFL has increased in its sort of time consumption recently, but I'm enjoying it, and it's also fitness, so it's a bit of a 2-in-1 there. And I can't, while AFL would be one of the first things I'd drop, it's something like I'm captaining a team now as well. Like I can't just dip mid-year and be like, peace, you guys deal with it. I mean, I could, but I also don't really want to. I'm enjoying it. And basketball is already taken enough of a backseat. I still want to keep in touch with the sport, even though if I'm not improving, I want to not go backwards too far. So if I ever want to suit up, I can. Now, I am going to rank these in time consumption, and obviously write down everything going on in your life and what you're doing as we do this. So I would be doing this for current, but since I've already changed some of them, I am going to show the big difference anyways. I'll just continue. Boom. All right. Here are my rankings of what they were like, and really glaringly obvious, one of the most least important things is ranked number 1, which is university. University, I'm sorry, I really don't care about it that much. Obviously, I'm getting through my units. I'm getting decent results, not phenomenal results, but pretty average, kind of like high school, really. I don't really care that much, but I got decent results. I'm just getting through it, really. I am learning, but yeah, and you can see gym is at number 2, but I will mention university, like the amount of time is a lot more. Like the gap between 1 and 2 was a lot, and the gap between gym, jiu-jitsu, lifeguarding, and AFL, there are about 3 to 4 sessions a week each of roughly, like, I'd say there's probably actually more lifeguarding than gym and jiu-jitsu, actually, because the shifts are a bit longer, but about 3 to 4 times a week. Jiu-jitsu was about 2 to 3. And my new rankings, I would still have university at number 1. I would have gym, I've lost a session. Jiu-jitsu, I've lost a session. AFL comes up the ranks. And I would actually say gym and AFL are probably equal 2 and 3. Because I'm currently doing AFL probably about 7 hours a week. So I do 2.5 hour sessions on Tuesday and Thursday, and I've got a game. Now, that's actually playing time, the amount of time allocated to it, like the warm-ups and driving and all that, it's a lot more. So I would actually say AFL takes the 2 spot, and that's not even including any external events for AFL. There's a lot of time that does very time consuming AFL, which is a genuine concern, because you'll see in a second why it is. Let's see, 4 still. So you can see the change in rankings before, after, and that's what they are now. Now you can notice one changes. Jiu-jitsu had a massive 4 to 8. That is now at 1 time a week, and it's at the lowest on my priority list. That was very deliberate, going from 2 to 3 times a week to 1. and that's only for 1 hour. Now, I'm going to rank these now in what I think is the most important to me and how I feel, all right, as I stand right now. So importance, and you notice how drastically that is to compare to my schedule. Content is at number 1. It was 6 before and now it's 5. And I'm basically only doing these. I'm not getting my YouTube videos out. I'm not spending any time getting ready to stream. That is a massive problem, and I need to figure out how to change that and move it up the list, even if it's not number 1. Number 2 is gym. Gym is pretty consistent across the board, so that's fine. I am reducing from 4 to 3 times a week, but that also ties into my AFL season because I do feel like my body is getting a lot more beat up than last year playing, because last year maybe I played 40% time on ground or I was dropped or whatever. And after every single AFL session, I did sprints and I went to the gym, because it was just not enough. But this season, now that I'm actually tired after games and I'm getting beat up in the midfield, I've got bruises everywhere. It's a little bit longer recovery time, so that's fine. And importance, AFL is at number 3. And you notice that's above basketball, which is really weird considering I'm a basketball athlete. It's because I'm enjoying AFL more and I'm doing it more. Like, I'm playing in a more important team. Jiu-jitsu's at 5 just because I don't enjoy it too much. I'll be honest, I don't enjoy jiu-jitsu, but it is important to get. I know how much of an important skill it is for me to learn. And then we go down to university at 6. It's above work because, who really wants to be working a part-time job? The truck company, and then the lifeguards at the very bottom, which just makes sense. But this is importance of what I want to do with my time. I do think work is really important because I need to have income streams. I need to have some sort of money coming through while content isn't doing any of that for me. So in terms of importance, that's how I feel, not the actual importance of it, because yeah. Now, put the whiteboard away for a second and let me yap to you for a little bit. So those are the 8 biggest activities that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. This doesn't even include all of the habits that I'm trying to do every single day. Like waking up, morning sunlight, wake up 7 a.m., get outside, ground, move, cold exposure. I'm trying to get back into that for discipline reasons because I don't feel like I've been disciplined as much as I wanted to be. 1 hour before bed, no screen, recovery there, read the Bible, journal. Then we go into hydration. Obviously, you want to be drinking 3 liters of water every day. Diet, eating cleaner. I'm trying to put on weight, so that means I've got to be having 4 meals a day every single day, because if I miss 1 or 2 days a week, I'm going to stay the same weight, and that's what I have been doing. Obviously trying to do everything I can to recover well and make sure my body is right for sport performance, and then trying to keep my mental health good in a good spot with breath work, lowering my stress, cutting out distractions like no Instagram reels, and obviously no pornography. That has been out of my life for a long time now, and I intend to keep it that way because that's really destructive. So all destructive sources of dopamine out. And then all of that in my life with all of these 8 events on a weekly basis. And then I've got to have a social life over that. I've got to hang out with friends every now and again. Like, I don't have to, but I feel like it's really important to talk to people, message people in the morning and talk to someone of the same species. These are very important things to keep me afloat that I think I struggled with in the second half of last year, and was one of the main pulls to go to uni to begin with, was to socialize. And then now that I've spoken about all of this and all of that, you have my entire life. That is my week-to-week basis, and that's what I want it to look like. Now, my issue is that it's too much, and I need to make some cuts. I need to make some sacrifices, because if I'm waking at 7 a.m. and that first hour is waking, first 1 to 2 hours is waking, doing my routine. Say 9 a.m. I start work. Then I finish up fucking sports at 8 p.m. and that's just dinner, shower, bed, routine and sleep. And then 8-9 hours sleep. My work window is between 9 a.m. and let's just say 5 p.m. And because if there's AFL or a basketball game, which I have on most nights, or jiu-jitsu or something like that, let's say maybe 7 p.m. That's a 10-hour window every day to work. And that includes driving. That includes all 8 of these tasks almost. So let's extend it to 7:30 then. So 10 and a half hours. 10 and a half hours a day is not enough time. Do I extend that? Do I try move certain things? Do I try to be more efficient with certain things? 10 and a half hours a day of pure work isn't enough. And that is what I'm struggling with. There's too much here and there's too much with my habits. And I don't really want to sacrifice any of them because I feel like everything's really important. And it like makes me think like, why am I actually doing uni? Like it's just, for a social side of things, it's really tanking my entire life, and I'd say mostly my content, and the content is that fulfillment, and that fulfillment is what keeps me going. I think I've just got to make sure I create pockets of protected time to work on my content, and so I can, even if I'm just streaming once a week, like, and I've got something to look forward to, something to think about, you know. Like work's already tanked a heap. Gyms, I've lost 1 session. Jiu-jitsu, I've lost 2 sessions. I don't go to the truck company very much. Lifeguarding, I'm down to 2 shifts a week. AFL's 3, basketball's 1, university. I'm there 3 days a week for 12 hours worth of classes, plus whatever extra time I need to study and do assignments. I know this session's been a lot about me yapping about my situation, but I hope that you actually do find some value out of it. I'm not actually sure if people will find value out of me talking about my situation, but I hope you can improve your situation as well, because I'm sure your time allocation might be pretty poor as well. And I think like with only 10 and a half hours working hours every day, that includes weekends. Okay, I think we're back. My SD card ran out of battery. Okay. I'm about to cook, hold on. Okay. I have split my activities into 3 categories: health and fitness, finance, hobbies. No, I shouldn't say hobbies, sorry. I know you can't read my handwriting, but that says fulfillment/happiness. These, I think, are the very, very important pillars, the 3 pillars to having a happy life, or not a happy life, sorry, like a good life, and being aware of what you're doing with your time, being aware with the direction of your life and what you want. If you're happy and you're consciously happy with the way you are now, you'd be your way forever, that's great. You're way ahead of me because I'm not. Content, say social, for fulfillment and happiness, like events. And here's the beauty about these 3 categories. Now, you notice content's in 2 categories. It's in fulfillment and happiness, and it's going to be in finance and future. It's got brackets future because I want it to be. The more that these overlap, the higher priority task that should be for you. This is the beauty of the experiment. Only the people that have actually watched this video get that part of this. So you can imagine it as a 3-way Venn diagram. I'm not doing that right now. Now, I haven't put, but I would say like currently AFL is in happiness and health and fitness. That's 2 birds with 1 stone. Fucking keep AFL. Basketball, probably the same thing. Like, I don't want it to be like me reminiscing the past of when I used to hoop, like amazing, but I do still love playing competitive basketball, and it's definitely in health and fitness. Jiu-jitsu, at first it was a little bit of both, but now it's just in health and fitness, and that's okay to admit. And I'm happy to keep that ticking over once a week. Obviously, my habits and my mental health, that will kind of feed into my happiness and how I'm feeling. Having a calm mind and a positive body is both, but that's staying in just health and fitness. My part-time jobs, your part-time jobs, that's always going to be strictly finance. But that's our mainstream of income if you're my age. So that's got to be there, and that's got to be at the top of the list. And I've got uni as maybe, because maybe my degree will help me get a higher paying job in the future if that's the route I want to go. So it's a lot of money that I'm losing, but it's definitely not in health and fitness, and it's definitely not in fulfillment/happiness. That's the one category for it. So basically what I want you to do is evaluate your eight categories and chuck them into a little list like this and figure out what actually overlaps. So right now, I know that content is going to move up in my priority list and therefore move up in the amount of time I allocate to it. AFL is going to be the same, except I'm not going to be allocating any more time than the 2 trainings and a game a week. Uni, I'm going to try like be more efficient with my time so I can allocate my time elsewhere. And I do genuinely need to go to my part-time jobs more so I can get more money in my bank account so I can buy stuff for content. I'm not going to do the rest of the pod on camera because I've been recording for over 20 minutes now, which is a lot longer than I normally go. I know a lot of this will be cut down for you guys so it's digestible and watchable. I hope that experiment was helpful. If not, it was helpful for myself, and that's the point of these. You know, I do this without anyone watching. And now my next step, which if you did what I just did and want to take the next step, is to sort of map out a rough week schedule of what you do on a week-to-week basis and then allocate time to those tasks and have a strong bias towards those things that fill the fulfillment and happiness and finance, or fulfillment and happiness and health and fitness, or health and fitness and finance if you've got some of those somehow. That's pretty impressive. Or if it's got all 3, like AFL, finance, happiness, fulfillment, like, I mean, I guess if you're an AFL player, that's why that is obviously the highest priority on your list, because it ticks all 3, even better. So that's what I'm going to be doing now after I upload this video. But other than that, I don't know how you feel about a different style of video. Let me know. I just kind of went through a rough reset evaluation by myself with you guys, and there's really not much more to say. Have a phenomenal week. I hope you had a phenomenal week. Do something you've never done. Work harder than you ever have. I'll see you next week for week 31. Damn. Goodbye.